Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I want to be doing more sit down chit chat videos where I just kind of talk about my experiences, maybe some advice that I have just on different subjects that I want to talk about. And if you guys ever have a subject you want me to talk about, you can leave that in the comments down below. So this is the first of many videos that I hopefully will be able to do just in this kind of scenario, and I hope it's something you guys enjoy on my channel. If it is, definitely let me know. Don't forget before you leave to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and you can follow me on all my social medias down below. I'll leave those in the description box. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So today's video is for the mommy friends out there in the world. I really hope that this video is helpful. I'm going to talk about breastfeeding. So I've been breastfeeding my daughter for 7 months now, and she was exclusively breastfed up until she started eating solids recently, and she's never had any formula or anything. And I had a really hard time with breastfeeding, and that's why I really wanted to make this video, is because the first few months were so hard for me personally. And I feel like a lot of people talk about breastfeeding like it's so amazing, it's so great, which I'm not saying it's not. Breastfeeding is so beneficial for your child, and it really is a special bond between you and your baby, but it can be hard. Now, I went through a few different things that made it so hard in the beginning for me, but I want to say that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Things are way better now. After about like 2 months, things were like perfect, and a lot of the issues had gone away, and now me and my daughter are going strong with breastfeeding. I plan on breastfeeding her till she's minimum age 1, and then once we get there, we'll kind of see when I'll start weaning her off, and that's all a personal decision for people, so you can decide how long you want to breastfeed your child and whatnot. So I made a list on my phone just of like the different issues I ran into, that way I could remember, and then I have some advice and tips just for people if you're going through the same thing that I'm going through. Now, just a little information about this video. I really want to make this because like I said, had a really hard time with breastfeeding, and I feel like since it's not talked about as much, we should really talk about these kinds of things, because I think it is so beneficial. And sometimes if you go through something hard, you kind of just want to give up, which I went through that. I had a really hard time, and I wouldn't let myself give up, because I told myself from the get-go, whenever I had kids, like I wanted to breastfeed them as long as I physically could, because you know, some people cannot breastfeed their children. I feel very lucky that I'm able to do this for my daughter. I pushed through it because of that reason, and I knew how good it was for my daughter. Some people, you know, you just get to the point where it's just like so hard and so discouraging, plus you're going through so many other emotions. I mean, you just had a kid, you're probably exhausted out of your mind. I was. You have all these emotions going on because your hormones are so out of whack, and so on top of that, you're having a hard time with something that's supposed to be so natural, and it's not coming naturally to you. And I feel like sometimes we just need help. And I definitely recommend, before I go on with this video, if you are having a hard time with breastfeeding, definitely speak to a lactation consultant. I spoke to different lactation consultants a few times to try and give me different techniques to make it easier, make it less painful and whatnot. So definitely talk to people about it if you're having a hard time, because like those people are there to help you. I'm just gonna hop right into this, just so then we can just, you know, go make this video not so long. So first of all, I'm gonna talk about the things that were really hard with breastfeeding for me in the beginning. So initially when my daughter was born, you know, you hear people like putting their baby on skin to skin after they deliver them, and then the baby automatically latches on. Yeah, my daughter did not do that. So that was the first thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I hear that a lot, like my baby automatically latched on and they're such a good eater and all this stuff, and I'm just like, well, where's my good eater? So my daughter didn't initially latch, and that's not, like I said, it's not a bad thing, but like she didn't just, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but my daughter didn't initially latch when she was born, and then even like those first like few weeks, she was just sleeping so much, and it was hard to wake her up to eat because she would just like always be asleep, and like she just wouldn't wake up. And also whenever she would latch on, like immediately she would just fall asleep, so she was just sleeping all the time, which babies do. It's totally normal, but I mean, it's hard when like they have to eat. You can't just say like, oh well, you're sleeping, like you don't need to eat. Like they have a My doctor told me that my daughter needs to eat at least every 4 hours, and I mean, if your child doesn't want to wake up, it's really hard to do that. So that's something I went through, is just like consistently having to like wake her up and find different ways to like feed her. You have to express feed, which is where you squeeze your breast yourself to get the milk out to feed to your child. So that was just something hard to go through, and everyone might go through that. I don't really know. That makes it kind of difficult and just like exhausting, because you have to work so hard to feed your child, which of course you need to do. You need to feed your child. I also had cracked nipples, which this was the honestly like worst part about breastfeeding for me. So lactation consultants say that if your nipples are cracked and hurting and bleeding, all this kind of stuff, your child is not latching correctly, which, let me point out, my daughter's latch, oh my god, it sucked so bad. She had a horrible latch, and no matter what I did, it would not fix. So if your child has a horrible latch, I'm so sorry, because it makes it so hard. Not only does it cause your nipples to crack and everything, like I just said, it causes them to not heal as well if they continue to have a bad latch while your nipples are already cracked and stuff. Like, can I say nipple any more times? Cracked nipples suck. So if you're going through that, I feel your pain, and like I said before, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It gets better, it goes away, believe me. And if you are currently pregnant and you're watching this video, definitely don't be discouraged by the fact that your nipples are gonna crack, because they are. I mean, your nipples have to like toughen up to breastfeed, to be completely honest with you. Like, nipples are sensitive, and you breastfeed and you'll have like some strong nipples, plus you got to go through stuff. I mean, my daughter now will tug on my nipples with her hands. Like, you gotta, those suckers, they're in war with breastfeeding. So yeah, that's something it was so hard to get through, because anytime that my daughter would latch on, like, the searing pain just hurts so bad. So that's another thing to tell you, that when your nipples hurt and they're cracked and all that stuff, they don't hurt like 24/7. Mine mostly hurt initially when she would latch on, which, I mean, when she eats like every 2 hours pretty much, like, oh my god, so much pain. But like I said, it goes away, so don't be discouraged by that. I really don't want to discourage people when making this video talking about this stuff. I just want to help and just share my experience. So I really hope I'm not making this sound like really bad. Also, there's engorgement, which everyone goes through. Engorgement and leaking, and I'm gonna say those kind of hand in hand, because when you're engorged, you leak, because when you get engorged, your boob is just like filled with milk, and so to release the pressure, you'll start leaking. In the beginning, oh my gosh, you get so engorged when your milk first comes in, and then you leak so much because like your body is just like 24/7 making so much milk, because it's trying to like regulate how much milk your baby needs. So in the beginning, it has no idea, so it's just like spilling milk everywhere, which is, it's really not disgusting as it sounds, but I mean, it's not fun to like have to be cautious of what you're doing to make sure that like you don't just have a boob fall out and just leak everywhere, because it does happen. You know, not know how many times I woke up at night and my boob like somehow fell out of my bra because it was just so full of milk and just spilled all over my shirt and stuff. So if that happens, it's okay. Another thing that can happen is you can get clogged ducts, which pretty much is where your milk duct gets clogged, and that hurts because it feels like a lightning bolt in your breast, and it hurts really bad. And you can also get mastitis, which I luckily never got, thank goodness, but it is very common for women to get it, which I think is more common if you get cracked nipples, because like the infection or whatever, that's never fun. But I never had that, so I can't talk about my experience on that, but that is a common thing you can get with breastfeeding, and I think you can get that whenever. It's just more common in the beginning months, because that's when your boobs are full. When your boobs are engorged too, that causes a lot of like the mastitis, that causes a lot of the clogged ducts and whatnot. It's not good to be engorged. Like, let me tell you now, like, it's good because you're making milk, but it's not actually good for your body. You got to release that milk as quickly as possible so you don't get any infections or anything. And then this isn't really like breastfeeding, but it is related to breastfeeding, just because it made it just that much harder. It's the fact that you're so beyond tired having a newborn, that like the fact that you're so tired just makes it so exhausting to ever do anything. And especially when it's so hard in the beginning, you're tired and you have to work like extra hard to make sure that your child is eating, or like if you have cracked nipples. And since my daughter has such bad latch, I had to work like extra hard to make sure that she latched better, even though she didn't. But I had to work extra hard to breastfeed her, to like make sure everything was all better and whatnot, and try to fix it as best as I could. And it's just like exhausting, and it's discouraging. In the beginning, I was so discouraged anytime that like she wouldn't latch correctly, and I would work so hard and it just wouldn't work, and my nipples were cracked and they just hurt so bad, and just like I was so tired, like so much stuff. I was just like, this is so hard. And I feel like I'm talking about breastfeeding like it's like the worst thing in the world, and it's so good for your child, but like it can be hard. And I'm not saying that everyone goes through this. Some people may have like amazing experiences in breastfeeding stuff, and like even going through everything I went through, like the hardness of it in the beginning and the pain that I went through all the time, I'm totally gonna breastfeed any other children that I have. Like it never discouraged me to never do it again. It's just like in the moment it's really hard. But I think about it this way, is like now 7 months, my daughter's 7 months now, and now like I'm fine. Like I don't remember the pain, like it doesn't even bother me. And so that's what really helped me push through the whole entire like beginning time when it was just a crazy mess, because having a newborn, just the beginning is hard in general, but just getting through all of that was just knowing that like this isn't gonna last forever. Like everything's gonna be fixed, everything will get better, hopefully, which it did. You know, this pain is not gonna last forever, and like what you're doing for your daughter is so much more beneficial than like you just giving up and like whatever, she can just eat formula. Which I'm not ragging on people who give formula to their children. I totally believe that that is your personal decision, and I know that some people don't have the choice, you know, they just have to formula feed their children. But at the end of the day, we're just doing what we can to make sure that our children are healthy and they grow amazingly, and that's all that really matters. So I hope that did not go around in a big circle. I'm trying not to get like too in depth in this video just because I have so much to talk about, but if there's anything that I talk about and you guys want kind of a more in-depth video on that, just let me know in the comments down below. I'm just gonna try and wrap this up really fast, just with like some things that helped me out and whatnot. So I'm just gonna show you guys some items that I got from a lactation consultant that were supposed to help heal your nipples. So these are the first things that I got from a lactation consultant. These I never actually used, but these are comfort gels, and this is the package it came in, and then this is what they look like. And you pretty much just put them in your bra, and they're just supposed to help soothe your nipple. They're just like a gel. You open it and it's literally just like gel. So I thought they felt weird. Every time you wear them, you have to rinse off your nipple before you feed your child. And I mean, like you can do that, like it's not like so much work, but I didn't want to do that. So I was just like, I really don't want to wear those. But those are an option if you have like cracked nipples. And then another thing that I was given to try and help heal my nipples faster, because when your nipples are wet after breastfeeding, you're supposed to let them dry, which was really hard because in the beginning, like I said, you're always leaking milk. So like I'd make so much milk that my daughter would eat, and even after that I would still be leaking milk. But I got this nipple shield, and there's like 3 different sponges in here. Make this look normal. This is pretty much just, there's a little foam piece that you put inside on the bottom here, but there's just little holes on the front, and then your nipple, you just put it on your bra just like that. Let's say that this is, okay, let's say this is my nipple. You just put it on like that, just like that. And this just helps keep the air circulating so your boob doesn't just stay moist, your nipple, so it can like dry faster. And this sponge on the bottom is supposed to help catch the milk. I used this a few times. The reason why I didn't like it is, number one, they're really weird, like they like deform your breasts because like it's just your nipple going in there, which that's not a big deal. But the main reason why I didn't like them is because I would leak so much milk too, and the sponge would not catch enough, and there's a few times that my milk just like leaked through while I'm just walking around my house, of course, and like my boob would just leak everywhere. So I didn't really care for these. I was just making so much milk, but that is an option as well. Something that a lot of people use that I didn't use because my mom told me it's not good to use, and I'll tell you why in a second, but nipple creams, which a lot of people say that they work amazing to help heal your nipples faster, and usually you don't have to wipe those off. Usually it's like fine for the baby to eat or something. I don't know, you totally check them out. I could be wrong. Like I said, I never use them. I didn't use them. My mom said that when your nipples crack, if you just let them heal naturally, don't put anything on them, they heal faster. That did not work for me. So if you want to use a nipple cream, go ahead and use a nipple cream. That's just what my mom told me. And so I followed that because, I mean, she had 8 kids, so she probably knows more than I do, the no person who had no kids. Some other things is, like I said, talk to a lactation consultant if you're having problems with like latching or whatnot. There's a lot of different positions that could help your child's latch if that's an issue, and the faster you fix that, the faster breastfeeding will be so much easier for you. Let me tell you right now. Another thing I did when my nipples hurt so bad, and like I said, it hurt mostly when the initial latch, those first few like minute or whatever, it hurt so bad. Take an ice cube and numb your nipple before you latch your child. If that's something that you're going through, it helps like 100% more. Like that's how I got through breastfeeding for like a long time, is I would just numb my nipple all the time. So amazing. Do it. And then something that I did, which this is like a personal decision, because they say that you're not supposed to give your child like a bottle or a binky for like 2 months, I think it is. I totally forgot. It hasn't been that long and I already forgot, because of nipple confusion, which my daughter never went through, so it wasn't a problem for me. But this, like I said, personal decision. It got so hard for me to breastfeed on my left side that I would just pump it. and I would just feed my daughter a bottle because it hurt less to pump my breast. So I would feed her on the right side and then give her the bottle for the left side and then pump it. And then I would do that a few times in the day, not the whole day, but a few times just to give my breast a break to like help heal. So I did that a few times. So that's also an option if you're having a hard time. That can definitely help. But like I said, you don't have to do it. That is a personal decision. I just decided to do that because it was really hard, and you want to do whatever it takes to like make yourself better but still feed your child. So I did that. Just some other things off the wall is definitely invest in breast pads to catch all your leaking milk, because it's gonna leak. This is such a beautiful subject. It's gonna leak. So I use disposable ones. They have reusable ones. I just choose disposable because I don't know, that was just my personal preference. Definitely I would invest in nursing bras. You don't have to. My mom also said that she used regular bras, because I asked her, I was like I asked her something and she just said she uses normal bras. She just like whip her boob out. So you can use whatever you want. I think nursing bras are more convenient. Also a nursing pillow. So a lot of people use boppy pillows, and I have one and it's really great, but you can also use a normal pillow. I feel like the world makes you believe that you need all these things for your baby when you really don't, which that's a totally different subject, let me just say. But like a nursing pillow, it's nice and convenient. Just like set your baby on it and just like hang out while you breastfeed. And even now my daughter's 7 months old, I still use it, still works great. But you really don't need one if you don't want to buy one, but they are pretty handy. I also want to talk really quickly about pumps. Definitely recommend getting a breast pump. I have the Medela breast pump. Yeah, I have the Medela. It's really great. They are amazing, so great, and they help a lot. So that's pretty much everything I have to say, and I hope this video is like not all over the place, because I feel like it's like all over the place. I feel like when I talk about these kinds of things, it's so hard for me to like just be in one place. I kind of have to spill everywhere. So hopefully my list tried to keep it like making sense, like that apparently. I don't know. If you guys have any questions about anything I talked about, definitely just ask them to me. I will answer them back, or I'll make another video depending on. I really hope that this video helps somebody, whether you are currently breastfeeding and having a hard time with it, or if you are pregnant and you're just like trying to see more about breastfeeding, or if you're like in between breastfeeding and formula feeding. I hope that this helps somebody out. So I just want to say that breastfeeding is by far the most nutritional form of food for your child. Formula, of course, it gets your child exactly what they need if you're not able to breastfeed, or if you just choose to go that route. So I'm not saying it's bad. I just chose to breastfeed, and you know, you can look up all the studies and stuff. I'm not gonna tell you all that kind of stuff. You can look up everything, how beneficial it is for your child and whatnot. If you want to learn more about it, just like Google that. But it really is amazing for your child, and it really does give you like a really strong bond with your child. And so I would really recommend it if you're somebody who's like on the fence, like you don't know if it's something you want to do. Definitely would do it. And yes, it might be hard in the beginning. This is not everyone's experience. Someone might have, like I said, an amazing experience, which hopefully my next time is after going through it this first time. But it can be hard, but I say just really push through it. And like I'm an example of that, because the first like 2 months, like you can probably ask my husband, there's probably so many times I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore, it's just so freaking hard, and I would just want to cry or whatever. And now like me and my daughter are doing amazing. So it gets so much better if you just push through like all the pain you go through in the beginning. And you know, there's so much you have to go through in the beginning, which is a totally different video. But like the first month or two, it can be really hard, just everything having a newborn. But like it all gets better. I mean, by like month 1, like half the stuff that was a problem in the first month, by like the second month, like it was gone. So like just know it gets better. It's not really that hard, and at the end of the day, you have an amazing human that you get to take care of and you get to hang out with for the rest of your life, and that should be enough for you. So just like cherish all those times. We're getting sentimental in this video. Just cherish all those times. It's so amazing. It's just an amazing experience. And you know, I'm so glad I get to breastfeed. Like I said, like it's really great. And you know, sometimes I cannot wait to be done breastfeeding, just because I can go back to like eating whatever I want and stuff. Because side note, when you breastfeed, sometimes stuff you eat may affect your baby, which like coffee affected my baby for a while, like greens, like spinach and all that kind of stuff, that affect her, made her like extra gassy. So like be mindful of that too, but that too goes away. So just like be mindful of that kind of stuff. But I really hope that this video helped. I really hope I talked about everything I wanted to talk about, and I really hope I did not make this video super long and rambled, which I probably did, and I'm really, really sorry. If you're still watching right now, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm just gonna end it. I'm just gonna stop talking. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some information from it, some advice, some tips, whatever it is. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up for me and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!